Hello TPU, Latsu7 here, and here I have a PU tier match for you. What is a PU tier? It's another metagame, if you want to say it that way. It's not an official small gun tier, but it's the NU of the NU. The never used of the never used tier, the stuff what people don't tend to use, even though there are a bunch of good Pokémons there, like Frost for example. But I can see why it's not used, because Blizzard as a second stab, it doesn't get Ice Beam, so yeah. Anyway, here, look at the team preview. My opponent, Hina Mizawa, who I most definitely recommend to check out, has two great threats to my team. For example, that Fracture, if it's Choice Banded variant, it can deal a massive amount of damage, and then the Chocotronic, the Golduck. Golduck is a huge threat because if it sets up with Calm Mind, or if it gets a Hone Claws up, it can be a very threatening mixed sweeper with Hydro Pump and Cross Chop. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into the match now, shall we? So here I'm challenged by 50 BMG, and she's gonna lead off with Chocotronic. That Golduck, I remember that from our NU tier match, and I'm gonna relay it off with the Iron Knee. The other reason using Mizawa is the fact that on a NU tier match, I used a team what I'm based around Trick Room and then as well. Oh, but anyway, I got swept with a Mizawa, and I just have all the content in it, so I wanted to try it out. On the first turn of the game, I am fearing a special attack from this Golduck, and it goes with the Surf! And I switch onto my Grumpig to take that hit, but it crits, and my Grumpig is now taken down by the power of critical hit itself by a Life Orb Golduck. So I am gonna bring in Thorn Bite on the turn afterwards and use Sleep Powder to put something to sleep. I would have liked to put that Golduck to sleep because it is still a huge threat and I have to deal it with. Although my Thorn Bite is able to counter it somewhat well, but yeah. My opponent sees that Sleep Powder coming, brings in Grumpig to take that Sleep Powder and use it as a Sleep Powder, and as it switches out to Pip-Boy, I Leech Seed on the switch. The Leech Seed is a very good move, even though Pip-Boy here doesn't seem to have all that much HP investment. It can still give a good support to my two EVL Light Walls, Togetic and Antilleon, the Sandshrew. So Sandshrew comes in and Pip-Boy goes with the Dragon Claw, and it's gonna do 1/3. So that tells me that this thing most definitely is CB, and it has become a huge threat to my team because he doesn't need to set up DDs to do a massive amount of damage because this team is a bit sluggish as I lost my Grumpig. So I use Stealth Rock as the Pip-Boy switches out, and because she doesn't have a Rapid Spin on my opponent, they are there to stay, and as she expects me to switch out, that doesn't happen, and I can knock off the Life Orb from the Golduck, and now it doesn't hit as hard, even though it now has +1. I'm gonna simply sack my Sandshrew because I don't want to take any extra damage on my Bellostom because of the fact that it can take 2 Ice Beams from the Golduck because it's more specially defensive, but I don't want to risk if Surf does enough damage to my Thorn Bite. I cannot really handle this Chocotronic and I would be swept. Anyway, I'm gonna take that Ice Beam, retaliate with Giga Drain, and simply recover enough HP so I can take another Ice Beam alongside with the leftover recovery. So Chocotronic here knows that it cannot take another Giga Drain, so my opponent sees that coming and goes onto Jungle Joe to take the Giga Drain as it's resisted, and I go with that set Giga Drain and I will recover a bit of HP and do surprisingly big of an amount of damage to the Jungle Joe. So I'm thinking that this most definitely is not a Violite. I have to switch out because I think it's an offensive variant, and I switch onto my physical wall, the Iron Knee. So the Irony comes in, intimidates the opponent, and I'm hoping that it would be a physical set because Grovyle doesn't get Earthquake even though Sceptile does. Little bit of information if you are ever using a Grovyle of yourself. So anyway, it goes with the Acrobatics boosted by Flying Gem, and Irony takes that very impressively well. So Jungle Joe knows that it cannot really touch my Mizawa, the Irony, and in comes Pip-Boy, and as I use Stockpile on my Mawile. And I know that my Mawile can take one superpower, or I'm at least certain that I can take one superpower with my Mawile. Besides, I don't really have a very safe switch in onto this Pip-Boy right here, and it shall go with the super power! And it's gonna do a whole bunch of damage, and it seems that it's a crucial hit. It takes down my Mawile with the power of critical hit and choice band. And the irony is now gone. Be fair, I would say. In comes Scorchin to take a -1 super. What could we say to be neutral attacks to the choice band? She takes it rather well, and she can also retaliate with Flame Charge. Up its speed by 1 stage, so it could outspeed the Pip-Boy on the next turn. It fails the KO on -2 defenses thanks to the resistance, but the Guts activates on the turn after, and Scorchin shall go with the Flame Charge once more! Its speed to what's +2 now. And now I'm thinking that I might have a chance! Because, well, even though she is on +2 and I am in 3-5 disadvantage, I still think that I'm not giving up just yet. No! I'm not a person who gives up unless it's completely hopeless and pointless. And here I'm gonna go with the facade, crit that ill burrow. What comes in as it goes with Ice Beam, hoping that it would KO with the coupled with the toxic, but my Scorching lives with 9 HP. Goes with the rest on the next turn, and I get all the way back on full HP. And I am looking in a really nice position, especially as it doesn't go with the scope but Ice Beam. It was a good move on her part, because if she wasn't expecting rest, the Ice Beam would have dealt super effective damage to my both Blossom and Togetic, and it also could have taken my Flareon out at that point. I go with the Sleep Talk, and it gets Facade, knocks that El Burro, the Seed were out, and now my opponent doesn't have really anything to handle my Scorching with, so this is looking to be a very, very nice situation for me. So my Flareon has become a huge threat to my opponent, and I go with the Sleep Talk because I didn't know that Fake Out takes away 1 sleep turn, so that's some information for you and for the future. Anyway, the November 11 switches out with the U-turn, and the opponent brings the Pig from Oz to face the almighty Flareon of mine. My Guts will activate, but because I know that if that November 11 the person would come in, I don't want to risk that thing to happen, because I don't really want to take the Fake Out on my Blossom, even though it's on full HP, or with my Togetic, because I think that they could be important later on. So I'm gonna go straight off with the rest so I can get back on full HP as my opponent stays in and burns 1 turn of sleep. So I'm sleeping, and I'm gonna go with the Sleep Talk and get Facade, and that will deal a massive, impressive amount of damage to the Pig from Oz, as it's still sleeping soundly, it seems, and that's very nice for me. So Scorching is still sleeping as well, and it's gonna go with the Sleep Talk once again, hoping for some move that will do some damage. It will use Flame Charge. And now the Pig from Oz is on the range where I think that Facade would be able to KO it, and it's still sleeping here. So the Pig from Oz was sleeping further, and my Flareon wakes up first and goes with the Facade, because I think that this thing has big fat, and it fails to KO, and it lives with 9 HP. Retaliate with Thunder Wave, activating my Guts, but obliterating my speed boost with the Scorching Flareon. So my speed is now on 1/4 of the overall speed what I could have, so that's no good. I go with the Flame Charge once again, and I shall take that Grumpig down, and I'm going with the Flame Charge because I'm trying to fight against the Paralysis speed drop, but I don't think I can still outspeed anything on my opponent's team at this point. But the Toko Tronic comes in, activates a Cloud9, so any weather would disappear, even though there is none. Anyway, it goes with the Surf! and it's gonna do whole bunch of damage, and I'm hoping that my Flareon would live, and it does, thanks to the fact that I knocked off the life of it. Flareon is able to survive and retaliate with Facade. The Flareon now has taken down 4 Pokémons by itself by one strong stand, but now it's feeling rather tired, it's on low HP. I'm gonna switch out and bring in Thornbite. Because there are no sleep powders on my opponent's side now, I can really go with the sleep powder, and I know that if I put either the Growlithe or the person to sleep at this point, that is gonna be a great asset to me, and I can do a little devious plan what I have in mind. I know it's pushing my luck to hope that my opponent would stay asleep for 2 turns, but hey, I have to try it because my Flareon has been such a great comrade on this battle, so I think that she deserves to take the whole team down because she helped me to rise from the disadvantage. She helped me to get onto this point where I have a chance to win this match. So I'm gonna bring in my Flareon, and as the Jungle Joe is fast asleep on the one certain turn, I'm hoping that Jungle Joe would be asleep for this turn and I wouldn't get Parax, and I don't, and I get a bit off with the rest and get my Flareon back on full HP! And as the HP bar goes up, I just feel, yes, it worked! The Jungle Joe wakes up on the second turn of sleep, third turn of sleep, goes with the sword stance, and it's gonna up its attack to a impressive stage where I feel that, come on Flareon, hit this Jungle Joe here, I know you have been doing lots of work and it feels tired, and goes with the rest again! Jungle Joe goes with the acrobatics, and it's gonna do a whole bunch of damage because it doesn't have an item, but Flareon is able to survive with 11 HP, and I'm hoping, come on Scorching, you know you can do it, you know you're gonna hit it, but no, it feels so tired that it goes with the rest again, and here I don't feel like switching out because I don't really want to bring in anything to a predicted acrobatics or anything like that. So yeah. So I'm gonna bring in Serenade to handle this Jungle Joe. Jungle Joe goes with the Drain Punch, hoping that it would recover enough HP so it would survive a Fire Blast. But Serenade feels enraged by the fact that Scorching was brought down, and it retaliates its last comrade with a Fire type move what the Flareon type was. With the Fire Blast and annihilates. Just that Growlithe to ashes, and now it's November 11 versus Thornbite and Serenade. So I'm gonna bring back my Serenade and bring in Thornbite to take the Fake Out, because Fake Out always flinches, and I don't want to take that with my Serenade because Serenade is the only hope what I have at this point to win this match. A normal type showdown, that is what it shall be, and that is where it shall end. So the November 11 uses Feint, and my Thornbite, after doing immense amount of work and helping Flareon to get back on full HP, it feints and can lay down and rest, and now the November 11th goes with the bite, flinches me once, it goes with the bite again, but this time it shall not flinch, and I shall roost all the way back on full, because I don't want to take any risks at this point, because I pretty much have the game in the bag if I don't get flinched. Anyway, the November 11th goes with the feint, hoping that it would do immense amount of damage, but it doesn't, and I go with the Fire Blast! Now, the Fire Blast will do a whole bunch of damage, but November 11 will be able to survive, retaliate with Bite on the next turn, flinch me once, it's gonna bite me twice, and it flinches me twice, and now, for the third time, it shall bite me, and the Serenade feels upset and goes with the Fire Blast! And now, Serenade was so upset that he critted the Fire Blast and took down the November 11, and that is how the game ended, and that was how the cookie crumbled. The match, what I feel, it was amazing. I had a whole lot of fun narrating and doing the battle because, damn, I mean, PU tier is a fun tier, and I recommend you to check it out if you ever have the time, if you ever have the will to go and challenge yourself and try out PU. But yeah, check out my opponent channel, Hina Mizawa's channel, and also remember to check out my channel if you enjoyed my narration. And if you really want, you can leave me a comment and tell me how I could improve upon my content and what you liked and what you didn't like. So anyway, thank you guys for watching and have a fine... Oh yeah, also leave a like, please. Have a fine day!